Great. Well, we're going to switch gears now a little bit with Cisco Live, but I just want to remind you as well, if you are joining us, whether you're here in person or whether you're at home, do use hashtag Cisco Live and at Cisco Live EMEA to let us know how much fun you're having at this year's event. The best way to watch the stream at home is on ciscolive.com, so use those emojis that you see as well, thumbs up, hearts, whatever you're feeling on how you want to express your enjoyment and excitement for the show as well. Now, for the first time, we're also translating. We've got captions for 7 languages, so I love that we're making this event more inclusive and we can reach more people as well. Now, the shift we're going to make is talking more about sustainability and net zero solutions, and obviously the hybrid work strategy and everything that we've been talking about through the keynote and right through to now as well is going to be a great way to do that. Now, I don't think it's a secret, sadly, that we are all facing a global energy crisis, and we continue to have prolonged challenges with things like climate change, and we need to find ways to reduce the energy consumption. So this is what this session is all going to be about, and you'll see sustainability is a really hot topic at Cisco Live. So let's take a look at this video on how Cisco is going to help make buildings more sustainable with Cisco's smart building solutions.
Humans and nature. We're in this together. Yet nature has given and given. It's our turn to do more. Cisco Smart Building Solutions and our partners' technology benefit both humans and nature. Catalyst switches connect securely, delivering power over Ethernet, reducing costs and greenhouse emissions. Cisco Wireless and DNA Spaces use intelligent automation, creating efficiencies that help the workplace and the planet. And collaboration tools enable hybrid work, decreasing environmental impact. Sustainability is essential to powering an inclusive future for all. That's why Cisco is committed to achieving net zero emissions by 2040. Between meeting human needs and a sustainable future, there's a bridge. Cisco, the bridge to possible.
All right, I need to speak to our brand team to see where that was filmed because it looks absolutely stunning. It's somewhere where I definitely want to go for a nice walk and a hike as well. Speaking of steps, we've spent a lot of time walking around, and I know in the world of solutions as well, we have Rob Boyd, or the Rob Boyd. So Rob, you have a guest and you're talking about UCS X Series. Over to you, Rob.
Thank you so much, Nish. Yes, we are here, and if you look at the side, Cisco UCS X Series, like, what is this going to be about? How is this about sustainability? Well, this is about sustainability from a grassroots level all the way through the supply chain. What is Cisco doing? What are some examples, perhaps, about things that are being done that just help the entire equation? And with that, I want to introduce Hasib, who's going to walk us through some very interesting things that have been done here, both with UCSX and how it's helping us achieve these sustainability goals.
Thank you, Rob. So Cisco UCS X Series is a modular system which was designed with sustainability in mind. So something which I want to point out right in the beginning is, I don't know if how well you can see it, this is a mid-plane free design. So what that means is that besides the minimal power distribution in the mid-plane, there is no switching intelligence in the chassis itself. So what that helps us with is you have your compute nodes in the front, you have your GPU nodes in the front, you have intelligent fabric in the back, and these connect together. And the chassis is not part of that switching at all. Okay, now we all know that your CPUs, GPUs, your fabric, their refresh cycles are all misaligned, right? They never line up, and it's very common. This chassis would allow you to only upgrade the component which you need to upgrade. If your new generation of processor comes in, just like Intel's Sapphire Rapids, you just need to replace the compute node. New GPU comes in, you just need to replace the GPU node. And if a new fabric comes in, then you will just go in the back and replace the intelligent fabric modules. So this reduces the e-waste. So if this was a rack server, every time a new generation of processor comes in, what you would do is you would go in and order a new system. The system also includes the power supplies, it includes the fans, it includes a new chassis. You don't have to do that in X Series. So these fans and the chassis, as well as the power supplies, they should last you throughout the life of your X Series.
I've always loved the modularity because people always have different needs when it comes to power, compute versus data storage. These things are constantly in flux. We're just constantly eliminating the amount of hardware that's required, but without giving up the modularity. In fact, it almost feels like you're increasing the modularity as you move some decisions into software and as well as into the cloud. But what about power and cooling? Are we still making advancements in terms of how we use those resources?
Right, that's a very good question. So this chassis has sensors distributed all across the chassis. And that combined with our intelligent algorithms for the fans, we can control the speed of the fans on the fly. So we have what we call zone-based cooling. If a zone is running hotter, the fans will actually run higher at a higher speed. If a zone is cooler, they'll run at a lower speed. And something else which I wanted to mention is go back to the mid-plane free design. As you can see, you can just see right through the chassis, which means that you can run your fans at a lower speed and still provide very efficient cooling. And running fan at a lower speed means obviously we're consuming a lot less power. And last thing which I actually wanted to highlight was that these power supplies, if you don't need that much power in the chassis, if it's a nighttime, your workload isn't consuming a lot of power, we will shut down some of these power supplies and put them to sleep, actually.
Yeah, because just even on standby, those things are going to be drawing power, but let's take them out of the equation. Final thing real quick, in a minute or so, tell me about how customers are leveraging, what's the management interface like this look like in terms of making it work for them?
So our UCSX series is managed through our management platform called Intersight. Cisco Intersight. So Cisco Intersight, it's a policy-driven platform, and one of the main goals of Cisco Intersight was to pass on all these controls to the customers. So I have a screen pulled up over here. We have separate policies, one for power, the one which you see right here, which allows you to do the things which we just talked about, putting it into a power save mode where the power supplies will actually go and sleep. We have thermal policies which allows you to control your fan speed. You can choose to run your fans at a lower speed, better acoustics, and so on and so forth. And to wrap everything up, every blade has its own BIOS policies, which is power and performance. And we can actually control the power to the blade and give you the optimal settings so that you can get the most out of a CPU at the least amount of the power.
Well, that makes sense. Thank you, Habib. I appreciate that, Hasib. But guys, this is really about sustainability from that grassroots level, as I spoke about. And you sometimes think, well, it's just a singular box, but you think about how customers are deploying these, and this really adds up quickly. So having this granularity of control at the data center level, if you will, is really where we begin to make a difference as we move control up into the cloud, but we still have to execute physically down on the field. But Nish, we'll go back to you.
Thank you so much, Rob. I know Steve and I were talking about the UCSX series earlier. Sustainability is obviously a really hot topic here at Cisco Live, and actually to see how you can have the power, I guess, of choice and choosing, swapping things in and out. It's a bit like Lego, right? You get to play around with it a little bit, which is quite fun. And of course, by doing that, you're reducing the e-waste. There's so many power saving benefits as well, and of course, flexibility to really customize it to what you need. Now, just a reminder, if you're joining here live or you're watching from home, use hashtag Cisco Live and @Cisco Live to let us know what your experience is looking like. I know we're about to go into the innovation talk with Denise Lee. She is our VP of Sustainability for Engineering, and she'll be joining us in the studio later as well. But before we even head to that talk, Rob, I know you're still in the world of solutions. You've got so much to see around you. What's the atmosphere like right now? Tell me about it.
Atmosphere is great. Just why we're here, Steve, don't back up too far. I was just going to point out, this is where we just were talking about UCSX. This is behind kind of this, if you've seen the bicycles kind of in the center, this is for people who are here. But nonetheless, you can get an idea just with the signs up here, just how much detail is available, how many experts are available. As we pull back over here, actually I'm going to just tease, because this is not an area I'm super familiar with. We're going to be featuring this, I think, later in the week. But they've got a full bicycle team out here, but it's not about the bicycle team, it's about how we're working with, I think it's a Dutch cycling team, how we're working with them from a call center, a contact center environment to really enable them to interact both with their own teams as well as their customers however they need. If we pan around here, just to give you a feel, you'll see the duck pond. This is the sustainability messaging all the way through here. This is against the entire back wall, most of the Cisco stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, if you happen to catch it, their partner solutions out here give you the ability to kind of jump back and forth and test what you're being told and what you think is going to work and this kind of thing. You should be able to get all your answers while you're out here. But I encourage you also to come down here. We got more customer experience things happening. If you get all the way down, we're going to be talking about the Metabus in just a moment. But I think I'm throwing back to Nish. And so with that, Nish, I'm going to go ahead and let you go to the studio before we go to the innovation talk. Thanks for the time.
Thanks so much, Rob. Now, this is a topic that I'm really passionate about, sustainability. That's the innovation talk we're about to head into. And the session is called Accelerate Your Journey to Net Zero with Cisco Solutions. Now, whether you're at the start of your sustainability story, whether you're right towards, a really mature sustainability strategy, there are ways that Cisco can help you do that. And in this talk, they're going to be talking about how Cisco is marrying or meeting together the ideas of sustainability or technology. Gone are the days, when we are choosing between what's good for business and what's good for the world, and this is really how we can do both. Now, Denise Lee, who's our VP of our Sustainability Engineering Office, is going to be joined by Jeremy Foster. They're going to discuss how our Cisco solutions are helping to reduce energy consumption, a reduction of greenhouse gases, emissions and waste, and energy efficiency, and of course more circular business models, which is really key as well. So we're about to head out to the innovation talk. And just before we do that, actually, let me just highlight, there's a little bit around green and networking as well. This is something that they're going to be talking about in the talk, and how Cisco's end-to-end architecture across all of our portfolio is going to help with that circular consumption. Now, what this means is that you can adopt our sustainability practices, find practical ways to implement some of them into the significant source of emissions. Over to the innovation talk now.